Hi, Wastelanders. I am Sean, your host, and with me is Cody, my
Hello.
co-host. Hello. How you doing today, man?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Nothing can bring this day down.
Okay, I'm about to bring the day down. Welcome to the Utopian Wasteland. Today, we are talking about some of the jobs that will be most affected by the coming tech tsunami, and just a portion of them. And it's a little chilling because they're saying, and by they, yeah, that kind of, people like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and CEOs of other tech companies are saying that a lot of this is going to be on us by 2040. So we're looking at 15 years. So in previous episodes, we have talked a bit about the jobs that will be replaced by the combination of AI, robotics, and improved automation.
Right.
Today, we're going to talk about others who are also concerned about this, and we're going to get into some numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Numbers of potential job losses, but we'll see.
Lovely. The thing
Yeah.
my brain can't keep track of.
So in a bit of irony, it looks like a lot of the first jobs that are going to be replaced, and honestly are already being replaced, are the very people who are programming AI systems in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah, Dario Amodi is the CEO and co-founder of American AI company, your favorite name ever, Anthropic. Yeah, he was formerly with OpenAI. So he's been around this stuff for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the bigwigs at AI before, and now he's got his own company, Anthropic. According to Business Insider, on March 13th, he said that he estimates that in 3 to 6 months, AI will be writing 90% of all of their software code. In 12 months, it could be writing 100% of all code. And I think he was speaking primarily of his own company, but also kind of loosely all coding.
Yep.
So, to understand the impact of that, there are around
Sorry, listeners.
there are around 27 million professional software programmers or coders around the world. 1.6 million of those are in the United States alone. This is about 1% of the total U.S. workforce, which is about 166 million people. Again, just in the United States, 166 million people in our workforce,
Okay.
and coders make up 1% of that. On the other hand, Bill Gates thinks that the job of coding won't disappear completely, and I agree with that. I don't think it'll be completely. So far, AI coding makes mistakes, and it will take humans to look for and correct those mistakes. Now, as reported in WindowsCentral.com, Gates appeared on The Tonight Show on February 4th with Jimmy Fallon. He was asked if we will need humans in the new era of innovation, and he answered simply, not for most things.
Mm.
Gates remarked that things like medical advice and diagnostics and great teaching will become free through AI. He said there will be things that we likely will reserve for humans, like athletic events, but in terms of making things and moving things and growing food over time, those will be basically solved problems, he said, quote. People are a little concerned about the medical idea, but in China there is a experimental hospital that has a number of AI doctors, and they're already and I think robotic nurses. They're already trying this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean it is a reality, and it's already starting. Elon Musk agrees with Gates' estimation of job losses and changes in our future. Back in 2017 at the World Government Summit, Musk was asked his opinion he was asked his opinion on a universal basic income. And he said, I don't think we're going to have a choice. That wasn't a political opinion, but simply stating fact based on the estimation that traditional jobs will likely be vanishing in numbers we don't know how to handle yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that was some years ago. 1 year ago from right now, he spoke again at the May of 2024, he was a speaker at Vivatech in Paris, an annual technology conference. There he took the idea of universal basic income a step further, saying that basic income will not be enough. Instead, he touted a universal high income. He told the audience, quote, "In a benign scenario, probably none of us will have a job. But in that benign scenario, there will be universal high income, not universal base income, and there will be no shortage of goods or services." End quote. He continued by saying that it's about 80% likely, in his opinion, that, quote, "everyone will have access to as much in the way of goods and services as they would like." I think it's a beautiful idea.
Of course. So I'm supposed to be trying to come up with, like, some funny retorts here. I got nothing with
You
this.
got nothing. Yeah, I know.
This is just sad.
Well, it's concerning.
Yeah.
I mean, but if his estimation of the benign scenario is right, and we have robotics and computer systems running everything and just providing it to us nearly for free, then suddenly our free time is a lot of free time.
Yeah.
We'll have all the things we need: food, shelter, basic products that we want and are fun. And you can go fishing, and I can work on my art and my writing. And I mean, it could usher in a whole new era of people around the world being able to be creative. It answers that question: if money was not an option, if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do with your time? People may have the opportunity to actually do that. May. We'll see. Musk believes that AI and automation will increase productivity and bring down prices. In short, everyone should have access to anything they need, and it has the potential to greatly reduce poverty. He feels work will become optional, more like having a hobby. Say you want to start a little restaurant of your own. You can do that, or a little shop, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Some people will really enjoy doing that. Of course, this is going to raise the question of how to provide a universal income of any kind, whether it be a basic income or a high income. It would possibly be through a form of corporate taxes that would be handed to the people. In turn, the people would turn around and buy the products and services from those corporations, so they'd get their money back anyway. The business world will complain at first, because they always do when there's a tax change. But then they may realize that no one will have money to buy their products otherwise. We'll see. So it could be one of those, you tax the corporations, hand it to the people. What do the people do? They're going to go and they're going to spend it and buy the products that corporation is making,
right,
and put the money right back into them. And I mean, that's really how the economy works anyway.
Right.
In large part, you do work, the company pays you, you then go and buy the company's products.
Right.
The only thing different now is they're still paying everybody, but a robot is doing the work, and people are maybe buying even more products because they're not so stressed out. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. So, what other industries will see such a fast impact by the coming tech tsunami? Well, Forbes magazine in February analyzed this question, February of this year. They pointed out that to determine that, you need to consider some factors, and these are important on indicating how fast these changes are going to come, if they come. First, is there regulation? And the big one, what can go wrong? And a lot. In other words, is a business willing to take the chance on trusting AI and other tech? Are they willing to trust robots to stock shelves properly, to run the warehouse properly? Well, it's already happening. So I think the answer to that is yes. Yes, they will trust them. Second, does the benefit outweigh the cost and risk? Probably. And finally, and this is going to be the big one, and I see a lot of backlash online every time I see somebody talking about an AI advance or some new food thing or whatever. Is society ready? And very often I'm seeing that answer is no. But maybe that's just the really vocal anti-tech kind of people and anti-change people. Maybe most people just kind of go, well, I guess it's whatever. And, hey, I don't have to work anymore, so that's cool. I don't know. Yeah. So let's look at a few specifics here. The jobs that will be affected the most, the industries affected most. Most likely, early adopters will be the tech industry, as we're already seeing with the reduction in the number of coders. Microsoft just announced they're laying off 6,000 to 7,000 people so that they can put more focus on AI. Although, interestingly, they fired their head of their AI team, so we're not sure what the reasoning behind that was, but that's a developing story.
Oh,
yeah.
Great.
Most likely, early adopters will be the tech industry, manufacturing, and probably retail. And from what I'm seeing, fast food restaurants, especially, they're already utilizing tech advances. There is a restaurant in California that was designed to be a fast food place, kind of mixed with a sit down.
Mm-hmm.
The entire kitchen is robotics.
Yeah.
There are no humans in the kitchen, and they can turn out a burger in 27 seconds. And then they put their money, employment wise, into staff that are really good with customer service, really good wait staff. And they're going out and taking their orders and then feeding it into the computer. And so their idea is, well, we'll do this and we can still employ people. We're just putting them in places where turnover is the lowest, because kitchen turnover in fast food is really high. But do you really think most of these fast food chains are going to do that? I mean, you and I were at a McDonald's just the other day, and what they got rid of first was the front end staff.
Right.
So they've got one person saying, hey, your order's ready, and the robot could have done that with no trouble, because we had no real interaction.
Right.
Yeah. Even the financial world will be likely to use AI agent assistance with human expert oversight, but there's a lot of things that a computer can just do that a human may make mistakes on. So what does that mean in numbers? Well, as a reminder, the U.S. workforce is about 166 million people. So these following numbers that I'm quoting are just for the United States. How the rest of the world is impacted will vary greatly, and I think the more modernized countries of the world will be the early adopters of a lot of this, and developing nations and third world nations are going to be really slow to adopt robotics, and they'll still have jobs for a long time, well, as much as they do. So we'll see. So again, this is just the United States. Around 70 million Americans, about 44% of our workforce, have what would be termed a white-collar office job. The jobs that all of us are trained in school to try and go get, that great business degree and whatnot. A February article in Tech Radar states that around 70% of all white-collar jobs can be replaced by AI. That's around 49 million jobs potentially replaced. Right off the bat. Nearly 8 million Americans work in some area of finance and insurance. It's most likely those jobs could be done by AI agents. I mean, every time I go in and talk to my insurance agent, they have to pull everything up on a computer anyway.
Right.
The info's already there. The fast food industry employs around 4.6 million people in the United States. McDonald's alone has 700,000 employees in the U.S. Most of those jobs, as we just discussed, can already be done by automation, AI, and robots. Sit-down restaurants in America employ around 2 million people as cooks. That doesn't include the chefs. That's just the cooks.
Yeah.
Again, new kitchen automation equipment run by AI and new robots designed for kitchen work will be able to replace most of those jobs. There are already robots in some restaurants that bring food to the table, in other countries mostly. And some restaurants use tablet computers to order and pay at your table. I have been in sit-down restaurants where we did everything from the table. All the wait staff had to do was bring us our food mostly.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen some of the robots that they are, and robots and I don't know if you call it a robot, automated systems, things that are going in sit-down restaurant kitchens that you just kind of dump in the ingredients and it makes it for you.
Right.
No humans needed hardly. Yeah. Okay, we did sit-down restaurants. There are about 2 million farm workers in America, a large portion of which can be replaced by new robotics and AI systems that we'll be talking about in a future podcast. I've already written the script for that, and you'd be amazed at the number of farm-specific robots that are already out working. I mean, these aren't even concepts. They are for sale. You can go buy them now.
Yeah.
John Deere Corporation is working to have all of their tractors, in the next 5 to 10 years, automated driving. Self-driving tractors. And they already sell self-driving tractors, and they're working on making their entire product line self-driving.
Right.
Yeah, about 1 million people do warehouse work in the U.S., jobs that are already being heavily replaced by robots. Around 15 million Americans work in some form of manufacturing, like the other fields, automation, robotics, AI agents. It's going to be able to replace a very large chunk of those jobs. So when you hear people saying, hey, we're going to bring more factories back to the United States because it's going to make jobs, no, it's not. It's going to create situations where we fill these factories with robots. And yeah, okay, we're making the products here, but it's not going to make more jobs. The robots are already available to do the manufacturing. So that's just reality.
Oh.
Yeah. For those keeping score at home.
Oh, we're supposed to keep score?
Oh, yeah. Weren't you adding all this up?
Oh,
all right. Well,
dang.
I did it for you. It's all right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Just this short and vastly incomplete list of possible job replacements comes to around, brace yourself, we maybe should have a drum roll, 81 million American jobs lost, probably by 2040.
Can you repeat that again, just for everyone back at home? One more time.
81 million jobs. Potentially in the next 10 to 15 years, maybe less.
I don't even know of that many jobs.
Well, I mean, that's overall in the workforce.
Okay.
So, as a reminder, the current U.S. workforce is about 166 million people. So we're talking about nearly half of the American workforce being replaced by that combination of AI, robotics, and automation in the coming 10 to 15 years.
Oh.
So once we look at the rest of the industries and all the jobs that can be impacted, I think that number is going to grow immensely. This may include, and these are all things that I have seen them working on, and it's starting to happen. These may include truck drivers, because there are self-driving semi-trucks now.
Right.
Waste disposal workers, because you've got self-driving garbage trucks and robots sitting on the back, and some just automated pick up the can and put it back down without anybody even getting out. Delivery workers, taxi drivers. Right now in San Francisco, for about a year, they've been running a test program for self-driving taxis, and it's working quite well. And this is just going to keep growing. Other countries have been doing the same. I mean, that's just the one in the United States that I know about. Other countries have had self-driving taxis for a while, and it's going to keep going. It'll include bus drivers, janitors. There are specific robots that do all the janitorial jobs. They're just built for cleaning bathrooms and cleaning rooms, and they're kind of incredible to watch. Groundskeepers. There are definitely self-driving lawnmowers and other things like that. A lot of construction workers. The list goes on. It will likely replace many positions in our armed forces as well. They've been quick to embrace drones and robotics, as we'll discuss in another future podcast.
Ooh.
You and I got to see one of the totally automated cruisers that they had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's going through trial runs right now, but they've got a missile boat. It is the size of a small destroyer, and it requires no crew at all. And not to mention all the drones that they're already been putting into practice for years now. So, yeah. Now we'll look at kind of the big picture, which we've kind of been doing a little throughout. There just aren't many fields of employment that will avoid being replaced by AI, robotics, automation, combination thereof. The biggest problem is we are not getting ready for this. You need some coffee, huh?
I need some coffee.
Yeah. To deal with this calls for coffee. The big problem, again, we're not getting ready. I mean, we see these things on the horizon, but people aren't paying attention. We're also lost in politics and other things that we're not paying attention to this stuff that is coming down the road. My personal take is that the most difficult jobs to replace will be customer service related and creative fields. On the phone customer service and tech support, when I first wrote this, I was really thinking those were hard to replace until
Yeah.
we talked to what was that AI called? What was his name?
Miles.
Miles. We talked to a live AI that talks back, and my God, I thought we were talking to a human on the other end. I mean, I knew we weren't, but it was so accurate. It was kind of spooky. You could tell.
Yeah.
But still. But I think maybe customer service on the phone will become a valuable job because people may not like talking to computers. Wait staff at sit-down restaurants will probably stick around. Cash register checkers and jobs where all the other jobs where humans value one-on-one interaction with other humans may become highly valued, high-pay positions. So could robotics and AI do some of these jobs? Yeah, they could. But I don't think that people will like it. I think there's going to be backlash in the public, and it may turn people away from the business if they go all automated. I mean, even Walmart had trouble with moving to self-checkouts, for example. They tried to get rid of most of their checkers. People really balked at it, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And people were screwing up their orders and getting in trouble.
Of course.
And, when I've got a lot of stuff in a cart, I would rather go to a human to make sure that they're getting it done right. And so they had to pull back on that already. But who knows what the future will be. It's beyond time for our governments and industry to open their eyes to the storm on the horizon. Whether we like it or not, whether people want to believe it or not, massive change is coming very quickly, and we haven't even started to get ready for it. Elon Musk is likely right on the mark about the need for a universal income. We're quickly approaching a time where a minimum of half of Americans have no jobs available. But they'll still need to eat. They'll still need a home and shelter. They'll still need transportation. It's estimated this may be true worldwide. I mean, this is obviously not just an American issue. This will land in the lap of our government and governments around the world. At some point, they have to start talking about it, and as far as I know, they haven't yet. So there we go. On that happy, uplifting note.
On that wonderful humdinger.
Wonderful humdinger. That's it for this episode. Thanks for joining us today. Sorry that it was kind of a downer, but we got to start thinking about this stuff. We just, this is the tough love episode. We got to start talking about it.
This is a little more than just tough love.
We'll talk about it more coming up. If you are a Patreon patron, you can see the next video that follows this, which is where Cody and I have further discussion about some of these things, but it's only available on Patreon. So check out our Patreon, Utopian Wasteland. And we'll have more discussion. For those of you on just the podcast and YouTube, thank you for joining us today. Please keep listening, and I promise we won't be this grim every week.
We'll be worse.
It will be worse.
We'll make it so dark it won't be available for YouTube.
Yeah, no.
Which is not hard.
I've got a lot of really cool, wonderful things that we're going to be talking about coming up too. And there are beautiful, great things coming. So
and
we'll get to that. Next episode is how robots are going to kill us all.
Well.
Oh, no.
Next episode, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring.
Are you?
Yeah. I have things I want to talk about.
Fantastic.
And so I'm going to try and write a script.
Fantastic. I wish you would. That'd be fantastic. Totally. Do that. Okay. So, hopefully it's going to get better. If you like this podcast, please tell others and encourage them to listen. I mean, obviously, everybody needs to know this stuff. I mean, even tell your people in Congress. Listen to our podcast because people need to know. Absolutely everyone. Please spread the word with us. So please be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. We're working on getting onto a lot of different platforms. Then also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If nothing else, you can always find the podcasts there on YouTube. If you like what we're doing and want to help us create more, we invite you to become a patron on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. Patreon patrons get exclusive stuff, so go check it out. There's lots of extra little videos that we put on there. And there's even some merch at higher value levels.
And can you repeat that one more time? For how much?
We start at $5 a month.
And that's great, people. Less than a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I went and got a coffee the other day, and I think I paid $7.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it was a mocha with
So
peppermint
again,
added, but still.
Less than $5 a month.
Less than a cup
Or
of coffee.
less a cup of coffee a month. It is $5 a month, not less than $5.
And you get extra videos. Every podcast we actually make 3 different videos out of, so there's different stuff, and some of it's kind of strange. Yeah. And of course, we are on social media. I'm working on that right now. You can find all the links at utopianwasteland.com. So, until our next episode, remember, you can ignore technology, but it won't ignore you.